Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Canadian Shield. My name is Sterling. I'm your host. There's the second day of riots happening all up and down England and parts of Ireland. They're up to 10 locations on a map that I saw. The British Prime Minister has finally opened his mouth. There's still nothing from the royalty. And of course, true to far left extremist form, the government is demanding that people in England stop protecting themselves, stop defending themselves, stop telling the world that they have the right to look after their own culture. They have the right to look after their own lands that have been coveted by the Middle East for many centuries. I mean, Spain, they were there for what, 700 years? Istanbul tried to push right through. It wasn't stopped at Vienna. So this is not anything new. What is new is the government of the country deciding that the people of that country don't have the right to defend themselves, don't have the right to stick up for themselves, don't have the right to even complain about it. And I think that that's ridiculous. I think that that points to someone who's no longer working for the people, but working for his own agenda. And when I show you the clip of the Prime Minister and his statement of how he condemns, there's crowds running up and down the streets with machetes in some parts of town, and then there's peaceful protesters in other parts of town. And of course, true to form, he's threatening the peaceful protesters and completely ignoring the guys armed with machetes. Before I get into it, I would encourage you all to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, share this channel with all of your socials. I have an open GoFundMe, and I have memberships if you wish to support the channel that way. Okay, so I'm going to open with an X from Radio Genoa, and this is a picture of the march that's happening in England proper. You can see British flags and the flag of St. George, even a flag of Israel. Calm, peaceful, no weapons. There's children, there's women, and it's important to point out that there is no weapons. Not a weapon. I mean, not one visible anyway. It's been viewed 1.3 million times. It's been bookmarked, it's been liked 76,000 times compared to the 2,000 comments. That's quite a crowd. Okay, so you saw that. It's very peaceful. It's very tranquil. It's just people voting, tax-paying people saying enough is enough is enough is enough. And I kind of wonder how come it is that we are importing people to countries that don't have the room for them instead of exporting a better way of living. Like, why is it that we're bringing in a lower standard of living to one country instead of getting the people and teaching the people in the other country how to elevate their standard? I mean, shouldn't that be what we're doing? Okay, so in another clip, there is a town that is predominantly filled with men from Islam, which I suppose kind of proves the point, really. But they are, in contrast, they're doing a march as well. And let's look at the difference. Running, threatening, not a single child, not a woman anywhere in sight. This is, what, 3,000 men all running around looking for somebody to attack. I think that kind of brings the point home. Doesn't it bring it home to you? Does it bring home to you the idea that this is supposed to be a civilized nation who invited these people into their land? Imagine you invite somebody into your home, they're spending the night, and then they get up in the morning and they start telling you how to live your life. They start telling you how to run your house. Would you tolerate that? If we reverse this and we sent 1 million Christians down into the Gaza Strip and started telling them how to live their life, would we be putting up with that? So you have to ask yourself whose side the government is really on. But it's not a coincidence that it's happening in so many countries. It's not a coincidence that if a person is marching for Gaza in Australia, it's okay. But when a person is marching to defend their own land in their own land, somehow it's a problem. I mean, that there's no consistency even in the application of the judgment. And that lack of consistency is a flag, in my opinion. That lack of consistency tells a story in itself. Now, you can tell me what you think down in the comments below. Do you believe that I'm overstating it? Do you think that there's very little difference between the two marches? You'll let me know. I have a clip of the Prime Minister saying something, the newly elected Prime Minister, far left socialist Prime Minister. And do you think that he is in any way, shape, or form defending the very people that he is supposed to be defending, or is he attacking his countrymen? Is he adopted this, I'm better than all of you, so I'm going to tell you how you should live your life? Well, let's listen to what he has to say, then I'll give you my 2 cents.
Be in no doubt, those that have participated in this violence will face the full force of the law. The police will be making arrests, individuals will be held on remand, charges will follow, and convictions will follow. I guarantee you will regret taking part in this disorder, whether directly or those whipping up this action online and then running away themselves. This is not protest. It is organised, violent thuggery, and it has no place on our streets or online.
What I heard is a man saying that they're going to use facial recognition software to find you in your house. I didn't hear a man saying we need to calm down, we need to come to the table, we need to talk about this. I heard a man saying that he's going to come and get you. He's coming for you. This is what happens when you elect weak people. He didn't make this statement. Whoever controls his strings, the puppet master, whoever is in control of this guy wrote that statement, and they did so without thinking. How do I know that? Because he didn't speak from the heart. He had to read it word for word. I don't write a script when I do my videos. I do all this off the cuff. That's why sometimes you see me stalling, because I haven't written down the word. Yeah, sure, there might be an argument for me doing more polish. But one thing I understand with absolute certainty, when you have to read the words off the page verbatim, when you can't open your mouth without first looking down at your page, then you don't own those words. Those words are not coming from inside of you. Those words are given to you by somebody else. And you, as the Prime Minister of the country, need to talk to both sides of the party. Not just say, well, whoever does what I don't like, we're going to use facial recognition software. We're going to hold you without in remand, meaning they won't give them bail. So think of all the people that get bail, all the crimes they commit, but not these guys. These guys are not going to get bail. In my mind, what I hear is desperation. I hear them threatening instead of trying to negotiate. That indicates that they are probably operating from a very weak position, that they have to threaten you. They have to try to scare you into submission. Now, I don't know that that's going to work when people are past their breaking point. And I'd like to see that the people who are running up and down the streets with machetes are also going to face the full frame of justice. I mean, I didn't put it in here, but they're attacking single Caucasian males all over the place. 20, 30 guys with sticks and knives on one guy who's just trying to go to the grocery store. It's not really very nice to look at, so I didn't want to put it up on this clip. You can find it on X, though, I assure you of that. And here we have the Prime Minister saying that anybody who doesn't do what he wants is going to prison. No different than Maduro. No different than Saddam Hussein. No different than any dictator you've ever heard of. This is supposed to be a democracy, a government for the people, by the people, of the people. I mean, this is one of the countries in the world that founded the parliamentary system. And this guy doesn't care about those people. So who controls his speech? Who gives him his marching orders? That's what we really need to find out, because he's the person that's trying to make all of this happen. He, she, they, whatever it may be. That person is the one that wrote that speech, that threat from on high. Imagine. Imagine if the Trudeau had said something like that to the people running up and down with the Palestinian flags, or Obama had said something like that to the BLM. It seems a bit tyrannical to me. And as I said in another video, we have now moved away from unrest into revolution, because the prime minister of the country just threatened tens of thousands of people. That's too far in a country that held that gave us the Magna Carta, which was one of the founding documents for free speech. And this is why free speech is so important, because a very few number of people will get into power and they will get convincing themselves that they don't have to be accountable to anybody. And the best way that they can do to avoid that accountability is to keep you from speaking what you feel out loud. That's a different video, and I will get to it, because this kind of stuff upsets me. I get that people are upset. I get that people got to move around. But when I see the rules applied differently to both sides of the argument, then I have to call BS. If it's equality, then the law has to be applied equally. If it is not in any way, shape, or form applied equally, it is simply privilege. And everywhere I turn, the left is demanding that people of their own country have the right to defend themselves, and have the right to defend their borders, and have the right to all of that stuff. Except for some reason, for this particular group. I wonder what this particular group has that others don't. And then you have to start asking yourself, does this seem like equality, or does this seem like discrimination? You can let me know down in the comments what your thoughts on the matter are. I'm going to wrap here. I want to thank you all for listening. I'll talk to you next time.